Welcome to the broadcast. This is TV47 Weekend Edition. We're glad you could join us. We invite you to engage with us on our social media handles at TV47 News on Twitter, TV47 Kenya on Facebook, and my handle on Twitter or X, I like to call it Twitter though, is at Grace Korea KE. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Rhoda Nyamai, and my name is Grace Korea Kanja. Now, Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya coalition party, has termed the first year of President William Ruto's regime as a disastrous year for Kenyans over, among other things, the failure to honor its promises. Azimio says it is the work of government to provide solutions and not complain and give excuses when it fails to fulfill its promises. Elizabeth Mutuku leads us off tonight.
Speaking at the presentation while releasing their scorecard of Kenya Kwanza's regime's first year of governance, Azimio Brigade led by Raila Odinga says the first year of President Ruto's regime has been disastrous, dismal and difficult for Kenyans, thus rating them at 30%, equivalent to D-.
Our scorecard for this regime is 30%. That is D-.
Azimio Brigade says the government has failed to implement the ambitious campaign promises it made to Kenyans, warning the Kenya Kwanza regime of ongoing lamentations on global economic challenges, insisting should be out to provide solutions.
Tulisema punda imechoka. Leo tunasema punda imeanguka. Mzigo umekuwa kubwa zaidi, sasa punda imeanguka chini.
The work of management is not to explain problems, is to solve problems. The point of having a government is not so that they can explain to the citizen what the problem is. The point is for government to be able to solve those problems.
Conversations on the state of economics, education, health, devolution, legal and governance, gender and youth, as well as housing, were among those presented by Azimio Economic Council, downgraded the Kenya Kwanza administration of taking over devolved functions like health, agriculture, housing, among others.
This last budget, 37 billion, was put to the national government. What business does the national government have to do with health when the people dealing with healthcare are the governors?
Even for people who are known children rapists were given pardon. People who had committed corruption cases were given pardon. And this is one of the things that Azimio will be going to court to challenge.
Sanya imeshafika milioni 10 na zaidi. Sasa imetosha gari. Na tunajua yale kile ambayo tutafanya na hiyo sahihi. Mara hii haitakuwa sisi tunaambia wananchi warudi kwa barabara. Hapana. Wananchi wakirudi watarudi kwa mambo mengine tofauti kabisa.
On law and governance, Raila and his brigade maintained that corruption and lack of constitutionalism has been order of the day by Kenya Kwanza regime, especially on thwarting human rights during protests and what they term as quest by President Ruto to scatter multi-party democracy by invading Azimio One Kenya affiliate parties.
Wanaingia vile kwa wabunge wa ODM. Wanaona vile wanavyoongea, vile wanavyosifu serikali, tutafanya pamoja na serikali, na wao wanasema wao ni wanachama wa ODM. Haya yote ni kuhakikisha kwamba hakuna upinzani katika bunge.
Azimio One Kenya leadership has discredited Kenya Kwanza government performance 1 year later in what they say their sell of hope to Kenyans has turned out to be disastrous, stating they will reveal their next move soon. Elizabeth Mutuku, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Elizabeth Mutuku, for that. Now, religious leaders have weighed in on the recent increase in fuel prices in the country, saying it will push many Kenyans further into poverty. Their call is for the government to call for a discussion with stakeholders to find a way of cushioning Kenyans as the tough economic times occasioned by the hike in fuel prices.
Kwa nini sasa hawawezi kusikiliza mwananchi analamika aweze kusaidika katika hii hali ya mafuta? Wabunge wetu ni kukaa chini, kitakachopitishwa ni kupitisha bila kuwauliza wananchi. Mbona ilipoingia mambo ya Shakahola walituuliza wananchi mnasemaje? Mbona ilipoingia mambo haya wanatuuliza yasemaje? Bali inapofika wakati wa kupandisha bidhaa za mwananchi, kwa nini hawaulizi maoni ya mwananchi?
We are actually strangling the life of our Kenyans, and it's mainly the poor who are going to suffer. Is this the line we want to follow? We want to find solutions. We want to join hands with government, with other NGOs, so as to see where we can find a solution. And that's why we keep saying we need discussions. These things don't need a one unilateral decisions. We need to see how can we buffer, how can we temper a little bit the effects of these huge increases. We keep appealing. Surely there must be other solutions beyond pushing and demanding extra from what does not exist amongst the poor.
Right, and a deadly road accident at Nyabigege area along the Kisii-Migori highway has claimed the lives of 4 people, including a 6-month-old baby, and left over 20 people severely injured. Confirming the incident, Kisii County Police Commander Charles Kasses says the injured passengers are receiving treatment in various hospitals in Kisii and neighboring counties. According to witnesses, the accident occurred when 2 matatus plying the route collided head-on, leading to instant deaths and severe injuries. The wreckage of the 2 vehicles were towed to Nyamarambe police station.
Hizo ambulances za nini shwali? Kama watu tunaweza tunatoa watu hapa wameumia, wengine wamekufa. Tunatoa like for 1 hour. Serikali kazi yao inafanya nini?
Hata Mission Hospital iko hapa Tapaka.
Mission Hospital iko hapa hivi, like what's happening? Nini mbaya sasa?
Hii place by the way, it's true. Mimi naweza omba serikali kabisa. Kwa hii barabara wanasema ni highway, hawezi weka hizo mabumps. Mimi naweza omba tu kabisa kwa sababu hii si mara ya kwanza. It has been happening hapa. Hapa hii ni mara kama 7 since hii barabara iwekwe.
A 7-month-old kid dying for no good reason. Why should we do that?
But we need of
yeah? Please. Kama inaweza fikia Wakenya wote, wafanye aje, wasaidie our highways.
Really unfortunate there. Moving on, as Nairobi County continues to put up response measures to counter effects of the El Nino rains expected to start in October, victims of the demolition that occurred in Mukuru Kwanjenga village 2 years ago, who are living in tents which were donated to them by the Kenya Red Cross, are now worried of their safety. And as Eric Matika informs us, residents want Governor Sakaja to include them in his Marshall Plan to set to counter the rain. Apologies for that.
It is in Mukuru Kwanjenga slum in Nairobi. This has been the situation for residents at the Mukuru Kwanjenga slums for the past 2 years. The residents were left homeless after their houses were demolished and are still living in these makeshift tents, which are in a very poor condition. A situation that makes them worried sick, especially at this time when the country is expected to receive El Nino rain from the month of October. Residents here, especially families with small children, are confused not to know where they will go, because when the rains come, these tents which they call home will be swept away.
Hapa kuna mpango ambaye tumepanga vile tuko hapa tunakaa kwa tent na hizi matent tunaona tuko kwa hatarini. Kwa hiyo mvua ikinyesha tutakuwa kwa shida, maana sasa tutakuwa ndani ya maji maana sasa hakuna nini mitaro ya kuteremsha hiyo maji.
And as the Nairobi County government continues to put up response measures to counter the looming effects of the El Nino rains, these residents of Mukuru Kwanjenga are lamenting that they are not involved in the plan, as they are not aware of how things will turn out for them in the coming month when the rain is expected to begin. Governor Johnson Sakaja launched the El Nino Marshall Plan, where his government hired 3,500 environmental officers to help in cleaning and draining clogged drainages as the first step to curb flooding once the downpour starts. In addition, Sakaja said he has asked the directorate in the construction sector to map out unsafe building where residents will be evacuated before the flooding begins.
And we will do what needs to be done to protect Nairobians
objectively, without fear, without favor, and without victimization.
Sisi tuko kwa matenti, tunaomba gavana wetu hata sisi atukumbuke na atuweke kwa mpango wake.
Hapa itakuwa ngumu isipokuwa serikali ishukue hatua ijue namna itashughulikia sisi.
These residents, among many other living in slum areas of Nairobi, are prone to vector-borne and waterborne diseases.
Watu kadhaa wamekufia hapa. Kipindupindu tena kuna watoto walikufa hapa. Sasa hii nayo El Nino ikikuja itupate si watu tena watakufa.
The residents now want Governor Sakaja, in collaboration with the Kenya Red Cross Society, to prioritize public safety and proper disaster and emergency management mechanisms to avoid knee-jerk reaction towards the disaster and to establish appropriate strategies to aid them against the damages that will result from the rain. Eric Matika, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Eric Matika, for that. Now, during his investment tour in the United States, President William Ruto on Friday met Sam Altman, the founder of the new cryptocurrency project Worldcoin and owner of US generative artificial intelligence company Open, at Silicon Valley in San Francisco Bay. Elizabeth Atieno now reports.
Video that has since circulated online, President William Ruto, accompanied by Kenyan ambassador to the US Meg Whitman, could be seen walking into a meeting room where the Worldcoin project's founder Sam Altman was, among other IT gurus. This meeting comes barely a month after the government on the 2nd of August 2023 cancelled the license issued to Germany-based IT company Tools for Humanity linked to the controversial Worldcoin project that mined data from thousands of Kenyans. On the 6th of September 2023, the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee investigating activities of the tech company grilled Worldcoin CEO Alex Blania, who maintained that the firm is not in any way involved in mining data, but authenticating that its users are humans.
Providing proof of personhood humanness verifications since 2021. We were located at more than 20 locations around the city, including malls, the Hub, Sarid Center, Imara Mall, and elsewhere.
There are concerns that any data controller should register locally. That may be something to consider as a requirement, but our understanding, based on guidance from ODPC, is that currently it is not.
Blania further stated that the company has invested over 700 million Kenya shillings in Kenya for blockchain, cryptocurrency, education, and ICT awareness.
Nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Interior CS Professor Kithure Kindiki on Thursday this week said a forensic analysis on all Worldcoin gadgets used to collect data from Kenyans was underway. Questions that now lingers among many Kenyans is just what the president discussed with the Worldcoin officials. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47.
Thank you, Elizabeth Atieno, for that. We take a short commercial break here on TV47 Weekend Edition. Stay with us.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future. We are interested in telling the stories of creativity, hard work, and resilience that you are known for.
That is our job. This is my job. My name is Victor Muyakane, and it's my honor to bring you this news this way every Thursday night on the home of Untold Stories.
Katika majengo haya, hapa ndipo sheria zinapotungwa na zinapopakuliwa. Nitakuletea viongozi mbalimbali, mirengo mbalimbali, wote kwa pamoja wakipika na kupakua. Tutawapa nafasi kuweza kuangazia changamoto na mafanikio ya ugatuzi katika ukumbi wa siasa kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia saa 1 kamili na kuendelea.
kutoka eneo hili la Naivasha kwenye kaunti 032, gatuzi la Nakuru.
Kutoka kaunti ya Elgeyo Marakwet, kaunti 028.
Nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Wajir.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Turukana.
Kwa matukio yote yanayojiri katika kaunti hii 012.
Kutoka kaunti nambari 1, kaunti ya Mombasa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Lamu.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka Kisii County.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Machakos.
Kutoka kaunti hii ya Trans Nzoia.
Kaunti 038.
Kutoka gatuzi nambari 029, kaunti ya Nandi, chemichemi ya mabingwa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Kakamega.
Nitakuwa nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Bungoma.
Jina langu ni Paula Munio.
Willy Dennis Jiru.
Fabian Kibet.
Mimi ni Hashim Jimal.
Mimi ni Kitio Mika Masai.
John.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, tonight, the Kenyan government is on the receiving end after Cabinet Secretaries Moses Kuria and Davis Chirchir and President William Ruto's economic advisor David Ndii expressed helplessness on the country's economic situation, falling short of telling Kenyans to expect the worst. Trade and Investment Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria rubbing Kenyans the wrong way after telling them to dig their own wells, while David Ndii and CS Chirchir telling Kenyans to brace for the worst.
On a week, the nation has been on the edge due to the increment of fuel prices and proposed new taxes. President William Ruto's cabinet secretaries and his economic advisor David Ndii have added fuel to the fire by telling Kenyans to prepare for the worst. Controversial Trade and Investment Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria telling Kenyans to go and drill their own wells for fuel prices to go down, something that has not gone down well with Kenyans.
Sasa ukishinda kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni, bei ya mafuta imeongezeka, si uchipe kisima yangu. Dunia mzima tunajua bei ya crude oil imeenda juu. Na kama wale watu wa Makerere wako na kisima, mimi niko tayari kuchipa kesho. Nionyeshe boma yako, niambie wewe chiba mafuta hapa ndio bei teremke.
President William Ruto economic advisor David Ndii painting a grim picture of the economy, telling Kenyans via his X account, formerly Twitter, it is going to be painful and it may not work. Even Oxford and Harvard trained doctors lose patience. The negative perception on the country's economy kicked in on Friday after Energy Cabinet Secretary Davis Chirchir resigned to fate on the hiked fuel prices, saying it's beyond him as the fuel prices are dictated by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries.
On the cost of fuel today and going forward, and we are likely to even be going to harder times because of these are Platts prices from OPEC, and there's nothing much we can do about.
With Kenyans feeling the pinch from high taxes, with more expected in coming weeks and months, and the ever-rising price of fuel now hitting the 200 shilling mark, Azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga has warned Kenyans that they are on their own under the Ruto regime, which he described as a disaster.
Thank you, Apollo Kamau, for that. Now, a new survey by Polling for Insight Strategists Solutions Africa has ranked Embu Governor Cecily Mbarire and her Murang'a counterpart Irungu Kang'ata as the best performing governors in development ratings. The poll, which ranked the 47 county chiefs based on development agenda, also polled which governors stood a high chance of being re-elected in 2027, with Makueni Governor Mutula Kilonzo Jr. and his Homa Bay counterpart Gladys Wanga taking the first and second spot, respectively.
A year on since the 47 county chiefs assumed office, a new survey by polling firm Insight Strategist Solutions Africa ISS has ranked Embu Governor Cecily Mbarire and Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata as the best performing governors in delivering development to their respective counties. Mbarire scored 65.4%, while Kangata scored 62.8% in the survey conducted between the 24th and the 26th of August. The survey ranked the governors based on the respondents' perception on delivery of all devolved functions, including agriculture, water, health, and fiscal management.
All the 47 counties are treated as an independent universe, and this enables us to establish exactly what the particular residents of the respective counties perceive of their leadership, both on development and matters approval.
Other governors who made it to the top 10 include Isiolo Governor Hassan Guyo, who came third with 60.2%, and Gladys Wanga of Homa Bay coming fourth with 60%. Nakuru Governor Susan Kihika scored 59.8%, Julius Malombe of Kitui 59.8%. Narok Governor Patrick Olen Tutu was 7 with 59.1%, Anne Waiguru of Kirinyaga 58.7%, while Anyang' Nyong'o and Muthomi Njuki closed the top 10 with 54.9% and 53.2% respectively. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja leads a pack of the bottom 10 governors that have scored poorly in development with 33.7%, Wavinya Ndeti of Machakos with 32.8%, Wajir Governor Ahmed Abdullahi with 32.4%, Marsabit Governor Ali Mohammed with 30.2%, Taita Taveta's Andrew Mwadime with 24.2%, Kiambu Governor Kimani Wamatangi with 22.4%. Siaya Governor James Orengo also performed poorly in the survey, getting 20.2% score. Bomet Governor Hilary Barchok, 19.2%. Issa Timami of Lamu with 18.4%. And Uasin Gishu Governor Jonathan B. closing the bottom 10 with 16.4%. According to the ISS Africa survey, 57% of women governors emerged as the best performing on development and approval ratings, with 4 out of the 7 making it to the top 10 in the 2 respective categories. Apol Kamau, TV47.
Thank you, Apollo Kamau, once again for that. Now, among the promises made in the digital superhighway and creative economy was to reduce the cost of calls and data, increase broadband connectivity across the country, among others. 1 year later, after being sworn in, what has President William Ruto been able to achieve in this 5th pillar? Stanley Nyarengita with more details.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
13th September 2023.
President of the Republic.
As William Ruto was being sworn in as Kenya's 5th president, implementation of the last pillar of his Kenya Kwanza manifesto, digital superhighway and creative economy awaited him. And as Kenya's digital footprint continues to grow globally, according to a global ranking by cybersecurity company Surfshark, positioning Kenya number 78, the vision of President William Ruto to achieve digital penetration across the country continues to face hiccups as he marks 1 year in office this week. The push to boost businesses in various parts of the country has seen the Ministry of Information and Communications launch Wi-Fi hotspots majorly in markets. Mercy Market in Machakos County is a beneficiary of this project, which benefits business persons like Salome Wanza, among others. However, not everyone seems to be pleased with the move.
Hiyo wakati yote hatukuwa na vitu nzuri kwa soko, lakini saa hii tuko na advantage ya wifi. Tumeletewa wifi Mercy na inatusaidia sana.
Saa zingine inashika for an hour, then after wakati kidogo tu inapotea.
And while the business persons here in Mercy are with the government to add more free public Wi-Fi hotspots, the demand for internet in the country is increasing. This is evident according to a research by KPIOS, which shows that internet users in Kenya increased by 1.3 million between 2022 and 2023. On the 10th of June this year, talents galore in State House as President William Ruto met creatives during the launch of Talanta Hela program. However, the Talanta Hela initiative has seemingly become an egg on the face of the government, with the revoking of the Talanta Hela Council as well as the technical committees.
What was ignited by His Excellency the President at State House on June 9 was the system, and the system is ready. I can confirm to this House that there was a challenge that caused a delay in the completion of the screening room.
The head of state in August also lauded the digitization of more than 5,000 government services, with Kenyans urged to make their payments through paybill number 22222.
It will also help us reduce on matters corruption. You know how paying for services in cash sometimes is very problematic. The kitu kidogo menace.
Since his swearing in, the president has seemingly bolstered his move to work with stakeholders to expand the space for creative sector as outlined in his promises. While on a tour to the United States of America to the Silicon Valley, the president pitched Kenya as a prime technology hub.
And Kenya, with its Silicon Savannah and super smart engineers, is the region's ICT hub.
A reason scored by Azimio One Kenya Coalition Party, however, points out that Kenya Kwanza has underperformed in the Talanta Hela initiative, as well as welfare of athletes and mismanagement of sports facilities and funds. Stanley Nyerengita, TV47.
Thank you, Stanley Nyerengita, for that. We take our second commercial break on TV47 Weekend Edition tonight. Stay with us. That conversation on postpartum depression shall come your way, like I said shortly. Stay with us.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future. We are interested in telling the stories of creativity, hard work, and resilience that you are known for.
That is our job. This is my job. My name is Victor Muyakane, and it's my honor to bring you this news this way every Thursday night on the home of Untold Stories.
Katika majengo haya, hapa ndipo sheria zinapotungwa na zinapopakuliwa. Nitakuletea viongozi mbalimbali, mirengo mbalimbali, wote kwa pamoja wakipika na kupakua. Tutawapa nafasi kuweza kuangazia changamoto na mafanikio ya ugatuzi katika ukumbi wa siasa kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia saa 1 kamili na kuendelea.
Toka eneo hili la Naivasha kwenye kaunti 032, gatuzi la Nakuru.
Kutoka kaunti ya Elgeyo Marakwet, kaunti 028.
Nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Wajir.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Turukana.
Kwa matukio yote yanayojiri katika kaunti hii 012.
Kutoka kaunti nambari 1, kaunti ya Mombasa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Lamu.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka Kisii County.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Machakos.
Kutoka kaunti hii ya Trans Nzoia.
Kaunti 038.
Kutoka gatuzi nambari 029, kaunti ya Nandi, chemichemi ya mabingwa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Kakamega.
Itakuwa nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Bungoma.
Jina langu ni Paula Munio.
Willy Dennis Jiru.
Fabian Kibet.
Mimi ni Hashim Jimal.
Mimi ni Kitio Mika Masai.
John Javakiania.
Jina langu ni Abdulaziz Nameka.
Mimi ni Kombo Alfayo.
Jina langu ni Nicholas Mbai.
Isaac Famba.
Mimi ni Wanji Sosti.
Jina langu ni Arnold Adidi.
Jina langu ni Chris Bet.
Jina langu ni Violet Auma.
Na TV47 inapotamba, mimi Sheila Chelangat nitakuwa nikiripotia maswala yanayokuhusu wewe kila kuchao. Every Thursday 7:30 p.m. unapata nafasi kufahamu viongozi mbalimbali kutoka humu nchini, kuanzia wabunge.
Through Changa, we could get money to pay our rent, pay our bills.
When I was growing up, water was a problem where I was born and bred. We wake up at 3 to go and look for water.
Magavana
must be ready to be a tough woman and not a woman to be walked over.
Kwa hivyo
but you respect people.
Ndani ya Mfahamu Kiongozi, story na historia, na mi Elizabeth Mutuku.
Kwa mirindimo kemkem ya michezo, mahojiano ya kipekee na mabingwa wetu, makala ya kuvutia pamoja na matukio mubashara viwanjani. Shabiki, tutapiga mbizi katika kila kiwanja, ndani na hata nje ya nchi. Mtazamaji, uko tayari? Ni kazi michezoni ama michezo kazini? Ungana nami Ahmed Bahaj, sajili mpya nimefika.
Right, thank you so much for staying with us. To the world of sports now, and Mount Kenya University School of Law Dean Dr. Willie Mutubor led more than 300 lawyers who participated in the amateur golf event dubbed Wakili Golf Tournament at the Royal Nairobi Golf Club. Speaking after completing his round at the Royal Golf Club, Dr. Mutubor stated that the tournament seeks to raise awareness over the new master's program introduced at Mount Kenya University. Dr. Mutubor revealed that the university's administration is planning to introduce golf as a co-curricular sport in the university.
I will not speak about my own golf because it was not as good as I expected. But the essence of the golf tournament is to have fun, to interact, and most importantly, to introduce the public, particularly lawyers who have come to this golf day, to our newest product at the School of Law, which is the Master of Laws program that we have begun at the School of Law. So in essence, this was a marketing gig for us. It was a way to interact with the potential, prospective, and our current students, and showcase to them what we have to offer in the LLM or Master of Laws program. I just want to tell everybody, lovers of golf, members of this club, our alumni of the Kenya School of the Mount Kenya School of Law, that next year, watch out, we will have our own Mount Kenya University alumni golf day here at the Royal Nairobi Golf Club or some other club. So watch out for that.
Right, it's now time for her say. Remember, our conversation tonight is on postpartum depression on the back of statistics by the National Library of Medicine that state 6.5% to 20% of women are likely or actually experience postpartum depression. And my guests are already with me in studio. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, ladies. Dorothy Omola, who is a counseling psychologist, and of course, Mary Wafula to my extreme left, who is a mother. Karibuni sana once again. Thanks for joining me. So, Dorothy, I want to start with you because when I usually speak to people prior to having a conversation, you know, when we're planning something for Saturday or Sunday, and I mentioned that we're discussing postpartum depression, and I was shocked because a few people, not so many, but a few didn't actually know what this is. So I want you to break it down for us, I want you to tell us what PPD is.
Okay. So PPD, you said, maybe some others will not understand PPD. So thank you so much again for the opportunity. First, let us start by congratulating our mothers for, having that journey through to the end. And then also the mothers who lost it along the way. Sure. Again, we recognize them. So postpartum depression, not many people really understand because they tend to take it as, it's me, it's my children, it's my reaction, you have nothing to do with it. And then again, because such things happen in setups where some of us were raised up as, with the parental African parents. So these African parents, that is the parenting that we know. So when we beat our children, when we express our angers in our children, we feel like it's a normal thing. Yet, on the flip of the coin, it's not normal.
Right. Okay, I'll come back to you, Dorothy. But Mary, I want to rope you in and I want to know your story. I want you to tell our viewers your story in line with PPD.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Mary, as you said. I'm a mother of 3, twin boys and a girl.
They're cute, they're in studio.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll show them to the camera later on. Yeah, so I got my twins in 2018, then the girl came in 2019. And of course it was back to back. And because this was a first-time mother, as a first-time mother carrying twins, it wasn't easy, but the pregnancy journey was very smooth. At the end of the day, my twins were breech. They were not like, when you are supposed to give birth, like the head should be facing downwards. So these ones had made a cross inside my womb. Yeah, so they advised for me to go for a CS. Of course, we accepted. And fast forward in 2019, I'm going for my family planning methods. And my gyna looks at me and tells me, Mary, you're not looking the same as when I saw you last month. So I think you are pregnant. I'm saying, mina jijua, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So doc says, we go do a test, which comes up to be positive. And now he's like, congratulations, here tutabeba, but just before we beba, I'll send you to do a scan. But this scan now, they have to concentrate on the wound, sorry. They have to concentrate on the wound to see if it is not fully recovered. Even if it is 1 centimeter open, we'll have to terminate this pregnancy. And mark you, at that time they are telling me they can't terminate the pregnancy. My girl is 3 months inside of me. I don't even know. So I didn't even go for the scan because you have already given me the bombshell. We can't terminate. I don't want to terminate, yeah? So I went back home and I'm thinking, okay, God, if this is the way you decided I'll come to you, then it's okay. But at the end of the day, I'm calling my husband also to tell him, hey, wamesema. And he's like, nani wamesema. Yeah, it's quite funny, but the pregnancy journey was also smooth. Then I went in again for the second CS, and you see this is a back-to-back CS. So they, by the time they were 9 months, the boys were 9 months, I was 3 months pregnant. So it means I took in when they were 6 months, yeah? So the difference is 1 year and 5 months.
Right.
Like we literally carry them as triplets, yeah?
They actually look alike.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
they do.
So after the second CS, now the 3 days in hospital, they were perfect because you have nurses all over. There are people helping you out. But coming back home, that's when hell broke loose because I need myself to heal. Of course, I also have a wound that I need to look after. I have this girl that I need to breastfeed, and the boys also need me. So all these things at once, they were all overwhelming to me, yeah? So my feelings now started changing. I'm at a point where I'm asking myself, what did I do? Couldn't there be any way I could have avoided this? Am I in a mess? Then now, those feelings overwhelmed me, and now I started having anger issues towards my children. Not even my children alone, even the spouse, but you know, he's mature enough. Yeah, I married a good man. Yeah.
Yay,
So it's good. He takes care of the kids when I'm alone or when I'm away. But at this time, my anger is now directed to the kids. The small mistake they do, according to me, I'm thinking, nimeshawalea, you are already 1 year and 5 months, so you know, at this time, you know what mama needs, what mama doesn't want in this house. So a small mistake, like maybe they have poured the porridge on the floor, it could land them in a serious problem. And when I say serious, it's serious because I could deal with them with anything that is in front of me. I'm a purely African woman. So, so we know how to discipline kids the African way, as she has said. Yeah. So I could mwiko. You know mwiko? Yes, mwiko, slippers, name them, all of them, anything. Yes, belt. But thank God my husband was so safe with the belts, yeah? Them somewhere. Yeah. So, that's where I started now developing the PPD. And I didn't realize that I was into it, but the people around me knew that something was wrong. Yeah. So they could come and tell me, Mary, you've changed. You are so angry. You don't want to see people. You don't want to talk to people like the way you used to. But I'm like, ai, hapana, mimi niko tu sawa. Yeah, watoto sini wangu, kama nachapa sini wangu. Nimekuja kwenyu kuwaomba. So, hey, come on.
My friend, talk to my, what? My face is busy.
It's called
right. Yeah. Sure. And I love we're having this conversation. Yeah, I love that you're open with us, Mary, and telling us what you went through. It's not easy, but you're doing it. I appreciate it. What? It's break time already? Okay, sawa basi. Let's take a break. We're coming back with more. Chukua hiyo kitu. Yawa.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future. We are interested in telling the stories of creativity, hard work, and resilience that you are known for. That is our job. This is my job. My name is Victor Muyakane, and it's my honor to bring you this news this way every Thursday night on the home of Untold Stories.
Katika majengo haya, hapa ndipo sheria zinapotungwa na zinapopakuliwa. Nitakuletea viongozi mbalimbali, mirengo mbalimbali, wote kwa pamoja wakipika na kupakua. Tutawapa nafasi kuweza kuangazia changamoto na mafanikio ya ugatuzi katika ukumbi wa siasa kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia saa 1 kamili na kuendelea.
Toka eneo hili la Naivasha kwenye kaunti 032, gatuzi la Nakuru.
Kutoka kaunti ya Elgeyo Marakwet, kaunti 028.
Nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Wajir.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Turukana.
Kwa matukio yote yanayojiri katika kaunti hii 012.
Kutoka kaunti nambari 1, kaunti ya Mombasa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Lamu.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka Kisii County.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Machakos.
Kutoka kaunti hii ya Trans Nzoia.
Kaunti 038.
Kutoka gatuzi nambari 029, kaunti ya Nandi, chemichemi ya mabingwa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Kakamega.
Nitakuwa nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Bungoma.
Jina langu ni Paula Munio.
Willy Dennis Jiru.
Fabian Kibet.
Mimi ni Hashim Jimal.
Mimi ni Kitio Mika Masai.
John Javakiania.
Jina langu ni Abdulaziz Nameka.
Mimi ni Kombo Alfayo.
Jina langu ni Nicholas Mbai.
Isaac Famba.
Mimi ni Wanji Sosti.
Jina langu ni Arnold.
Right, thank you for staying with us. We carry on with our conversation on postpartum depression. My guest still with me, Dorothy Omola, a counseling psychologist, and of course Mary Wafula, who is a mother of 3, a set of twins and a baby girl, beautiful kids. Right, Dorothy, I want us to talk about the signs. And I want to frame this question in terms of the telltale signs. When can I, as a mother, tell that, something is wrong, something is amiss? I know we've picked from Mary, what led her to thinking or seeing that something is wrong with her, but what are some of those telltale signs?
Good. So some of the telltale signs, the obvious ones, are withdrawal, anxiety, and then loss of appetite, or onset change of weight. In a span of a month or a week or 2, there's a change in weight, and then again, a disrupted sleep patterns. But again, these things mostly start before at prenatal. Some signs start from there, when there's no psychosocial support, when there's no conducive atmosphere back at where this lady is coming from. So when she comes to the hospital, they're either elevated after birth or taken to a higher notch after birth. And so some of the obvious signs is such as anxieties and lack of appetite, just irritability. Right. These people just become so irritable. The husband will be like, my wife is so irritable. I can't stand her. It's not her. It's all the emotions, all the weird hormones going on in her body. Everything is not just in place. And then again, it's very important to note that there's baby blues that last within 3 to 4 days or a max of 5 days. And then the mother gets accustomed to having the baby around. And then again, now there's the PPD that we're discussing now, that would last even up to 6 months. And then there's the psychosis now. Now the psychosis is the one that would require medication. Right. So yes.
Those are the 3 types of postpartum, yeah?
Of course.
Okay, you mentioned psychosocial support and you mentioned husbands, and I want us to talk to husbands. Mary here says she has the best spouse ever. She has the best hubby ever who stood with her and by her. I want you to talk to the men. How do they support us as women? Because, in fact, when it happens, from what I'm getting, is you're not even aware it's happening.
True.
How can they support their spouses?
First of all, we have to appreciate that PPD is not only for women. Men are also affected. Because for once, attention will not be theirs again. Okay? There's somebody else in the picture. Sure. They have to provide for this new baby inside the house. So yes, they'll also get affected with this postpartum. But again, there's a way to deal with it. There's a way men can assist women and women can assist men. You see, during the prenatal clinics, their health providers are supposed to take them through this transition, pole. They're supposed to go through this transition. And then when they are able to be taken through this transition at the prenatal, then they are able to, acclimatize or rather come to terms with the changes that are about to happen. Right. So men play also another important role by giving these women a conducive atmosphere there at home, support them, listen to them. She's carrying a life. Hormones are everywhere.
Or lives.
Yes, exactly. A life or lives. So hormones are everywhere. Things are not just happening so right. And then the lady herself is trying to come to terms with her own self.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Things have changed. She's no longer the Dorothy that was there before. So men should give that conducive atmosphere, understand that things are not just right for her. And then again, while going to the clinic, that's why it's so important that men accompany their wives to the clinic.
Right.
Because then they are taught how to, be prepared for this change, so that when this change comes, they don't be, everywhere and they don't understand anything that is going on.
And Mary, during the break, you were telling us how, this affected what I would call your relationship with your children to an extent of them fearing you as their mother.
So that was my wake-up call, because they had developed something we can call a defense mechanism. Like when I'm throwing something at you, you will have to shield yourself, yeah? So there's a time I was passing, then the first twin, now seeing me, he decided to protect himself from me. So I knew I was harming him, but of course, it happened the second time. Now I called my husband, told him, hey, this has happened in the house. I think I'm hurting the boys. Then he was like, yeah, I had told you. Of course, he had noticed and he had talked to me, but sisi kama wanawake, we are always like, no, we are okay, we are doing well, and all that. So when I told him what had happened, he told me, it's a wake-up call, so we need to start like seeing someone who will help us through. So he called a friend who is into psychology. Psychology. Yes. The friend now advised him to he asked him how dangerous was I, because I remember him asking, is she suicidal? Has she shown any sign of harming the kids, like suicidal, or is just like that punishment? Then he was like, hapana, ni punishment too, but pia kuongelesha watu, waongeleshi watu sana. Then he's like, okay, I will advise you have a support system whereby there are people who will help her when she needs them. Because at that time, yes, we had a house girl, but this person is not mature enough to know that when you need something, she should be there. You see, house girls and TVs, they are like twins. So
for cinema.
Yeah. So this person is like glued on the TV like 12 hours, maybe even more. And you are in the bed asking for something, she's like, maybe unanisumbua ama unafaa kujifanyia, you get that she's not answering, but you see from the actions, and actions usually speak louder. So from there, now my husband now asked my mother-in-law, thank God she's around Nairobi, so my mother-in-law could visit us. Me, I have a good mother-in-law. God loved me. Hey. So my mother-in-law stepped in. At least she could come for a weekend, spend time with us. Then I had my house girl. Then my husband is there. Then now I have my sister, who is still my caregiver up to this time. Yeah. So for the first journey of me healing was to accept that I had a problem.
Exactly.
And the second thing is to share. Like I shared with my husband. Then now the third thing is to allow them, these people, the support system to move in. Yes.
Okay, so my director tells me we have 2 minutes. Can you imagine? So I'm going to split those 2 minutes, 1 minute each, yeah? I'm sorry, Mary. I can see the look on your face.
It is.
All right, let me get your closing remarks, ladies. Treatment, Dorothy, plus anything else you'd want to add, but in a minute.
I go?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. For treatment purposes, first of all, if it's preventable. Before we come to treatment, it's preventable. But when we get to treatment, it is very, very important that first we accept the way she's mentioned. We accept that we are in a problem. And then once we accept we are in a problem, we can seek therapy for counseling services. And then again, it is also important to share. Also, again, it's also very important to, have people around you, have a support system, talk to friends, talk to the people that you are closer to you, and get help. That is the most important thing.
Mary, in a minute, speak to mothers like you.
Well, mothers, this thing is real. It's not bewitched. You will not have been bewitched. It's a real issue that needs also to be tackled in life. And when you are facing any challenge as a mother, just open up and share, because you can never know. Your help might just be in the next door, like having a support system or something. Yes.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies. I do appreciate. Dorothy Omolo, a counseling psychologist, and of course, Mary Wafula, a mother. Thank you.